Welcome back, guys. Well, I haven't made any videos for the last couple of weeks here. That was due to deer season. I pulled on my snares because of deer season, and we've had a few things we've had to deal with here in the last couple of weeks, so I never got back at it. But now the deer season's closed, I'm going to start up another bait. I came last night and dumped this one. It was too dark to film anything. I would like to have shown you guys that trailer. That trailer's not very big, the one that I have, but she was way overloaded. It was a little too hard on her. I'm kind of surprised actually she made it. But I got a whole pile of bait here. We got scraps and guts and hides, and then I got other scraps and deboned deer and all that good stuff. So where I am here, we're gonna try and snare out of this pasture. My buddy lives a half to 3/4 mile north of here. He's having trouble with coyotes, so when we were deer hunting we seen a few, so there are a few around, so we're going to try and see if we can't snare a couple of them. I'm not going to run a whole bunch of baits, but I'll try and do a couple. What I'm going to do today, usually I leave this sit for a few weeks, let the coyotes make their own trails, but I'm going to try and grab a rope out of the truck and see what I can hook on to here. I think the gut piles are too big, I won't be able to drag them, but I'm going to try and hook onto something. And I'm going to try and create some trails through the bush. I'll probably try and do, I'm thinking maybe 4, I guess. I don't know if it's going to work or not. And just drag it behind me and see if the coyotes use it kind of as a scent trail to come to the bait. And who knows, it might not work. We don't have very much snow, so the coyotes can kind of go wherever the hell they want. And with this being a pasture, I won't have a lot of good places to hide my rams. So a couple things I'm going to run into is good places to anchor and hide my rams where they're going to be effective. Other times is if the bait is low or it's really frozen and the coyotes, say I did catch a coyote or two in here, and they're fresh, the ravens are going to be able to see them pretty damn easy and they're going to pick them. So let's hope we don't run into any of that, but there's a good chance. I also want to just say a big thanks to all the guys that have been phoning and texting and making sure, I guess, that I'm still alive and kicking. Just been very busy. So for all you guys that took the time, I just want to say thanks very much. But, well, I guess with that, I am going to go to the truck, try and get a rope and see what we can tie onto here and try and make a few trails. So here's the drag I'm using. It is a cape from a skinned out buffalo head. And I come through probably 300 yards through the bush there. She's pretty tiring dragging that through. But here's the other side, and this is where my bait was earlier in the season. And the coyotes were coming from there, and they were coming and eating. So what I did is I put my bait on the other side to draw them through the bush. But you can see this is the one I covered up with the cow hides. And they're still digging. The birds are digging, but the coyotes are digging as well. In here, in the kind of the first 50, 60 yards of this part of the bush, there's tracks all over. So that's why I wanted to pull this guy all the way up to here. So hopefully they smell a new scent trail and we'll follow it to the new gut pile. Because they know this one's here. And this one's going to hurt me a little bit because there is food here, but it's hard to get. Where that other stuff's going to be a little bit easier as long as they find it. So, but there's a few tracks around in here, so I'm going to shut you off and get to dragging this thing through the bush. We are still dragging that skinned out buffalo head. So this is kind of just like a little drainage creek system, and you can see the culverts. So the coyotes were walking down here, going up to where those culverts are, walking along the edge of the bush and going to feed and buggering off. So my bait is now that way through that bush We're probably a good 250 yards for sure from the bait. So I drug it all through this grass. I came out right there. Hopefully this shows up. I'm using my phone right now. That's their trail that they were using, and the creek bends and buggers off that way. So they were coming that way, so I figured I better come out of the bush here, and then I just kind of came across the grass to catch anything on a cross path if possible. And then I'm just going to follow this trail down kind of right before that bend, and then I'm going to bugger off into the bush that way and connect this trail to one of the other ones, probably about 20 yards from the actual bait. Well, I'm out of breath dragging that thing through. I think it's tiring. I'm a little too fat for this, I think. There is potential here. The coyotes seem to still be here, so we'll see if we can't tie a few up. I'm trying to pick my spots so that I can have good places to anchor and potentially hide that ram. The ravens found that other bait, so hopefully it won't be too long. There is one coyote track there, so let's hope he brings his buddies. Okay, I'm gonna keep dragging this thing. Hey guys, well, I decided I'm gonna hang a couple of snares in here. I usually I have never baited and then hung snares right away. Ideally I like to let them make their own trails and stuff. It gets them to come in and feed, and they don't have to really be spooky because I'm not coming in checking snares, no tracks and stuff that way. And then once they get comfortable, that's when I like to set them. So, but we'll see. I'll hang one in here today. I'll put a few in. And see if we can't catch something. So what I'm shooting for is the center of my snare will be roughly knee height, give or take. Ideally, that's what I'm going to try and shoot for. So, and we will see. I don't know how many I'm going to hang. I don't know how well you can see. Like behind me is all pretty well open. And probably not the best place to be setting a snare, because if the birds are flying over, if there's no bait, they'll be able to see a coyote here if I do catch one. So, but we'll have to just play it by ear and see how this bush is going to work, how the coyotes are going to react. They may not even come through this side, they might come through that side. They might not even come at all. So, we will see, but I'm going to hang a couple more and get the hell out of here, I guess. So I'm still hanging a couple of power rams in here. We're gonna see. I've been watching this trail that I drug through here, and I can see the nice little bits of blood. So the smell should be along that drag. So I'm hoping that it's gonna work. It's been pretty warm lately, and talked to a few local guys. They have had very up and down success, I guess. Some guys aren't doing too bad, and other guys say it's in the toilet right now just because of how warm it is. Then you get a few days of cold weather and it kind of picks up, but that's just kind of common. like that snare got bent a little bit. Nice big loop. Let's see if I can't show you guys this. I'm trying something different with my phone, trying to use an app to control my camera. So we'll see how it's going to work. But there, we got another one hung. We'll move on. Okay, well, I hung a few snares in the bush. We'll see. With that warm weather, I don't know. It's going to be too cold to trap raccoons. They're going to be denned up, but too warm, and there's not enough snow for these coyotes. But we'll see. But here's another thing for any of the new guys that have just subscribed or most recently subscribed. It's a long distance call. I get it from Damn Beaver. Hopefully that's in focus. I don't know if it is or not. But it's a long distance call lure. It's got skunk essence and stuff in it. I've been using it for a couple years and it works pretty damn good. So whenever I go to my baits, especially when I'm starting them out, I will put this out in the trees. I used to hang it on like a makeup wipe or whatever you call them, just like a cotton, and I found that the ravens are eating them. So what I do now is I just put it on the corner of a branch here, somewhere where a raven, it's not going to support a raven, just so that they don't sit there, because if they sit on a big branch they'll actually eat that on you. I always wear gloves because the skunk smell in it. I don't want to bring it into the truck, and I know Mama doesn't want me to bring that home. So, but yeah, if you guys haven't tried this stuff, try it out. It's pretty damn good. So, but with that, I'm gonna get out of here and we'll let this soak here for a few days, and I'll come back and see what kind of trails or action we got going on, and who knows, maybe we'll catch a coyote in here. So, okay guys, thanks, till the next time.